Might see how some faculty members show off their talent.
Plus, students find a new way to deal with grief. Stay tuned. TrojanVision Nightly News starts now.
From the high-definition digital production center on the Troy campus, with news from Troy University locations around the world, this is Troy TrojanVision Nightly News.
Hello and welcome to Troy TrojanVision Nightly News for November 29, 2011. I'm Courtney Addison.
And I'm Judson Garner. Thank you for joining us this evening. Troy University's SAVE project gave students, faculty, and staff the chance to literally release some of their grief yesterday afternoon in an effort to help lift some spirits in time for the holiday season. Kayla Magoo has the story.
It's definitely 2012.
SAVE project held a grief balloon release on the Bibb Graves Quad.
It is an opportunity for students, faculty, and staff to come out, and if they've experienced a loss, whether it's a loss of someone or something, they can decorate a balloon to signify that loss and release it.
For many, the holidays are about family and togetherness, but also remembering those that have been lost.
This time of year, people are really involved with their families, and getting together with your family is usually something that people do around the holidays. So if you've lost someone close to you, this can be a really difficult time.
The SAVE project recognized the need for this kind of opportunity, especially during the holiday season.
And we thought that it was a nice opportunity to host an event where they could come and perhaps start the healing process and let some of the grief go.
For one of those students, this was an opportunity to bring awareness and a message of hope.
I come from a long line of suicide. My father committed suicide as a kid, and one of my close friends growing up committed suicide. I came out here just in memory of them, because not only I struggle with suicide, but there's so many people out there who just struggle and don't know it. Suicide is no answer to pain, and there's always hope for that.
The grief balloon release sent out a message that reached further than just the participants.
I think it's a great opportunity, not only for those who take advantage of this, but those who walk past it and see it, they see that there are students here dealing with pain. So I guess it gives us a chance to humble ourselves in front of each other and just not be afraid to let our emotions out.
Kayla Magoo, Troy TrojanVision News.
This was the first time the SAVE project held a grief balloon release, but hope to make it a regular event in the future.
Troy students running around like a monkey or yelling like Tarzan. I know that might just sound like your typical college party, but last night students were doing some of those things under the influence of hypnosis. Amanda Ford has the story.
Troy University students displayed some unusual behavior Wednesday night as the UAC held an event in Claudia Crosby Theater.
Tonight we have the hypnotist. His name is Eric Kane, and he's here to hypnotize our students.
Students volunteered to be put under hypnosis, where they were induced to a state of relaxation and concentration. Students that participated said that they questioned hypnosis at first, but became believers in the end.
It felt really good. I got up there, felt questioning it at first, and then ever since I sat down, then I guess felt pretty relaxed and calm and collective, so didn't have no problems, no nothing.
Cand says it has become almost second nature to him to tell if someone is really hypnotized.
There's so many little things I can look for that it almost seems intuitive now, but I can tell by the way their eyelids are fluttering. I can tell I lift their hand, and I can tell just by the tension in their just by looking at their face, muscle tension, or if I lift their arm up, I could just tell, pretty quickly.
Cand says that some people participate in his show, but do not remember that it actually happened.
Even many times people will leave this show and say they weren't hypnotized. People have been in the show and forgotten they've been in the show. Well, they'll say, "Oh, I had a good time watching," and they won't even remember being on the stage.
Amanda Ford, Troy TrojanVision News.
This was UAC's last Wednesday night event of this semester. Activities will resume in the spring semester. Well, Judson, we all know Troy University is full of talented students, but also not only are our students talented, but so are our faculty members.
That's right, Courtney, and some faculty got to show off their talents last night. Felicia Payne has more.
Not only can Troy students make some music, but so can their professors. And the School of Music faculty got a chance to practice what they preach Wednesday night during a faculty chamber music recital.
This is something I've wanted to do since I started teaching here a couple years ago. and that is to collaborate with as many of my colleagues to present a concert as possible.
Dr. Gibson was the featured performer on guitar, accompanied by other faculty members on clarinet, flute, trumpet, saxophone, piano, and a vocal performance.
Well, I think it's good for the students to see their teachers and their mentors practicing what they preach. You know, we tell them to practice, but why? You know, so here, hopefully they could see the results of practicing and hard work.
Music performed at the recital came from a variety of composers in different eras, and all the pieces featured either Latin or folk-style feels to them to entertain the audience.
The other benefit is to expose the students and the public to a variety of composers and repertoire that perhaps they haven't heard before.
The event proved to be successful when Howell Hall was packed out to standing room only by students, faculty, and community members.
It's for the community to kind of, you know, show that we're here and show what we do. It's also for the students to kind of see what making music's all about.
Felicia Payne, Troy, TrojanVision News.
The School of Music's next event will be a campus band concert Monday at 7:30 in the Claudia Crosby Theater.
And now taking a look at news from around the state. In Montgomery, parents with children in Alabama's prepaid college tuition program are frustrated that they can't plan for the future while the Alabama Supreme Court decides how much tuition the program will pay. Parents told the program's board chairman yesterday that they are looking to coming up with $600 to $700 per semester if the Supreme Court allows the program to pay tuition at 2010 levels.
In Birmingham, a Lauderdale County physician has pleaded guilty to nearly $1 million in fraud. 55-year-old Diana McCutcheon of Killen pleaded guilty yesterday to healthcare fraud and wire fraud. The charges involved billing Blue Cross, Blue Shield, and Medicare for cosmetic skin treatments that weren't reimbursable.
And also in Montgomery, 6 people have been arraigned for their involvement in an identity theft ring. The 6 whom were arrested are from Alabama and Georgia and are charged with identity theft, wire fraud, and bank fraud.
And still to come on TrojanVision Nightly News, both basketball teams are in action tonight to begin the conference season. Justin McNelly will give us a preview of those games when he joins us in sports.
But first, President Obama and former opponent Mitt Romney sit down to discuss issues that they once debated on. We'll have that story and more after the break.
President Obama and Mitt Romney meet face-to-face for the first time since the election. I'm Tara Mergener at the White House with the story coming up.
Yo, check out this chef, right? Right? That's so gay. That's really gay. Dude, look at those hands.
Please don't say that.
What?
Don't say that something is gay when you mean that something is dumb or stupid. It's insulting. It's like if I thought this pepper shaker was stupid and I said, man, and this pepper shaker is so 16-year-old boy with a cheesy mustache. Just saying. When you say that's so gay, do you realize what you say? Knock it off.
I decided I wanted to go back to graduate school. And I was looking for a college that would be able to accommodate shift work and family life, and the Troy schedule fit in very well with my lifestyle.
On campus or online, Troy offers you in-demand degrees sought after by the law enforcement community. Troy University. It's all you need to know.
My name is Stephanie Birch. I'm a Deputy Chief of Police, and having that degree from Troy is what allowed me to be who I am today.
From the high-definition digital production studios of Troy University, you're watching the award-winning TrojanVision Nightly News.
Look at what's happening across the nation and around the world. We'll go to Courtney Addison at the Global News Desk. Courtney.
Thanks, Judson. Mitt Romney sits down with his campaign rival President Obama today. The two men are having lunch and are expected to talk about issues they debated during the campaign. Terry Mergener has the latest from the White House.
Mitt Romney's visit to the White House marks the first time he's met with President Obama since the two faced off on the campaign trail.
I had a question, and the question was, how much did you cut them by?
You want me to answer
How much did you cut them by?
Today's private lunch is expected to have a friendlier tone. President Obama first mentioned a meeting during his acceptance speech.
I also look forward to sitting down with Governor Romney to talk about where we can work together to move this country forward.
There's no specific agenda on the menu. The White House only says the president wants to hear Governor Romney's ideas on how to make the government more efficient.
The president does not have a specific assignment in mind for the governor. He looks forward to discussing with Governor Romney a variety of issues.
President Obama and Mitt Romney are meeting alone in the White House's private dining room. The president's aides contacted Romney's team before Thanksgiving to schedule the lunch. A sit-down between the election's winner and loser is a tradition with mixed results. President Clinton and President Bush became friends after their meeting and would eventually work on humanitarian issues together. The meeting between Al Gore and the second President Bush was described as short and cordial. Both pundits and the public are skeptical anything will come out of today's visit.
It's just PR.
Today, no. But perhaps if they work together over time, they could find something that maybe this Congress can come to an agreement on.
There was some post-election speculation the president would offer Romney a role in his administration, but both camps have shot down that idea. Tara Mergener for CBS News, the White House.
A controversial vote at the United Nations today is certain to win UN recognition of a Palestinian state. The United States and Israel are against the push for recognition. Vanita Nair is at the United Nations with the story.
Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas attended a committee of Palestinian supporters at the United Nations this morning where a statement was read on his behalf.
Israel cannot continue to be permitted to act as if it is a state above the law.
Abbas will take the stage this afternoon ahead of a vote making the Palestinians a non-member observer state. The resolution, which is certain to pass, would recognize the Palestinian state's borders before Israel captured lands in 1967. Speaking in Jerusalem, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu says today's vote makes no difference. He says a Palestinian state will not be founded until the Palestinians recognize Israel as the Jewish homeland. The United States tried to get President Abbas to put off the United Nations vote, promising President Obama would help mediate negotiations, but the Palestinian leader refused. The U.S. says the United Nations vote is not the way to achieve peace.
The path to a two-state solution that fulfills the aspirations of the Palestinian people is through Jerusalem and Ramallah, not New York.
In Ramallah, huge crowds gathered ahead of the United Nations vote, and marching bands filled the streets of Bethlehem. The vote is seen as a way to boost Abbas's credibility at home. His Palestinian Authority was mostly sidelined during Hamas's battle with Israel in Gaza earlier this month. Vanita Nair for CBS News, the United Nations.
The multi-million-dollar question this morning is who won the massive Powerball lottery? What we do know is that 2 winning tickets were sold, one in Missouri and one in Arizona, which is where Bagachaban is with the latest.
Peter and Lil Lilac are wondering if someone they know is now a multi-millionaire.
Somebody's got to be awful happy today, that's for sure.
Just who will take home the biggest Powerball jackpot in history is all the talk at Brownie's Diner in Yuma, Arizona. One of the 2 winning tickets was sold in the state, but miles away in Fountain Hills. The other ticket was sold in Missouri.
For Arizona, that was a great thing to hear something that's local around this part of the country. We have a big unemployment situation.
The winning numbers were drawn last night at lottery headquarters in Florida.
And for that over $500 million jackpot, it is the number 6.
Missouri's winner was sold in the tiny town of Dearborn, outside Kansas City, but no one has come forward yet to claim the prize. The odds of nailing all 6 numbers were just 1 in 175 million. But all over the country, Americans dared to hope, buying tickets at a rate of $130,000 a minute.
You could always be that one. You never know.
It's not yet clear whether the winners are individuals or groups.
I just hope one of the local people won it and one of the people that need the money.
Peter Lilac isn't betting on who it may be, but they now have 180 days to come forward and claim one of the largest jackpots in U.S. history. Bagachaban, CBS News, Yuma, Arizona.
And that wraps things up from the Global News Desk. To see more stories from across the country and around the world, you can tune in to Troy Trojan Vision Global News right after the nightly news. Now, back to you, Judson.
Thanks, Courtney. Now, Justin McNally joins us for a look at sports. So, Justin, both basketball teams are on the road tonight for some pretty important games.
That's right. Both basketball teams open up their conference schedule tonight in Little Rock. Both looking to come off a big loss they had in their last couple of games. But I'll get to that and more here in sports.
All right.
Is looking to do something tonight they have not done in 3 years. The Trojans have not won a conference opener since the 2009 season, and strangely enough, that was the last time the Trojans had defeated Arkansas Little Rock, their opponent for tonight's game. Troy enters this matchup 2-2 on the road this season, but they would like to get started on the right foot for the conference season. The head coach, Don Maestri, knows that the test that awaits his team.
They'll be very similar to us. They have a kind of an inexperienced team, so they're probably in the learning stages. They played very similar to UAB in terms of defense. They're very aggressive and intense on defense.
And the top two shooting teams in the Sun Belt will square off tonight in Little Rock as well. The Trojan women's basketball team, who is shooting 44.8% from the court this year, are taking on the only team shooting better than them, the UALR Trojans, who are shooting 45.4%. Troy is averaging 88.8 points per game entering this matchup, but they are coming off their lowest scoring affair of the season to Kennesaw State. But going up against a team that won the Sun Belt last year, Shanda Rigby hopes to be in their position come Friday.
One of our goals in the new era is to go from worst to first, and of course we ended up worse in the conference last year, so if we come in here and win our first game, we'd be tied for first, and so that would fulfill it kind of early. If it doesn't happen that soon, then we're still pushing for it.
Tip-off for the women's game is at 5:15 tonight in Little Rock and will be followed up by the men's game at 7:30. And with the conclusion of the regular season, some players may not get to hit the field again. But now the action is among conference commissioners and university presidents with conference realignment. And as Danielle Percival shows us, Troy University's own Jack Hawkins Jr. has a unique perspective on where the Sun Belt is going.
With the announcement Thursday that Middle Tennessee and Florida Atlantic would be moving to Conference USA, Troy University Chancellor Dr. Jack Hawkins Jr., who also serves as the president of the Sun Belt Conference Executive Committee, said despite the losses, the conference is continually getting stronger.
We had 12 good members, and certainly Middle Tennessee and FAU were both very good and strong members. We continue to have 10 very strong members.
Hawkins said the conference would be interested in adding other schools in the future. 2 FBS schools have expressed interest in joining the Sun Belt, along with at least 4 FCS schools.
It won't be a difficult process to fill those slots. It will be a difficult process to determine who is the most appropriate. We want to make decisions that will serve our conference and its member institutions well over a long period of time, and not just have a knee-jerk reaction to a couple of vacancies and an interest in filling those vacancies.
With all the realignment that has occurred during the past 2 seasons, location hasn't been the first criteria in order to join a conference, but Hawkins says the Sun Belt has taken a different approach.
We play within a sound geographic footprint. One of the great strengths, I think, of the Sun Belt Conference, in addition to having institutions that are very comparable and have comparable values.
Hawkins says there are several reasons why keeping the conference in one region is important. You can develop rivalries among schools, fans can travel to games to support their team, and it helps cut down on the number of days student-athletes miss class.
For a variety of reasons, it makes dollars and it makes sense. You know, for us to look at a sound footprint, you know, how far should you go to play a ball game? I think it's time for us to stop cherry picking one conference to another. I think it's time for us to stop cannibalizing one conference upon another, and let's get to a point where we put the fans and the students and good stewardship as priorities.
Danielle Percival, Troy, TrojanVision Sports.
With the announcement of Middle Tennessee State and Florida Atlantic both leaving the Sun Belt, there are now currently 8 football schools in the Sun Belt Conference. So as you can see, Judson Courtney, with the future of the Sun Belt Conference for football up in the air, you know, there's not really telling what's going to happen in the years to come for the Sun Belt. But what is certain is that the conference in basketball is still, you know, looking good, and both Trojan teams have their conference opener tonight.
Okay. Absolutely. Yeah, well, we're definitely looking forward to those games, and I guess we'll just find out where the Sun Belt's going and when it happens. So
let's just see. Let's hope for the best for it.
Yeah, definitely. Thanks, Justin.
Thank you.
Coming up on TrojanVision Nightly News, we'll take a look at Troy University's yearbook.
But first, it felt pretty pleasant and cool today. How's our weekend looking, Jamarlo?
Well, for the weekend, those temperatures will be warming up just a bit, but we will see those cooler temperatures stick around during the night. But I'll have more coming up next in weather.
Oh, this isn't good. I was a gift from him to her. I'm going to the animal shelter.
which isn't necessarily bad. I just hate the stigma associated with shelter pets. People will think I bite or that I spray everywhere. They're the ones with problems. I'm totally fine. Adopt me, you'll see. I'm gonna go pack.
I can't even believe you! And she has a mustache!
I don't wanna wait for all night.
I was afraid of that.
Well, guess it's time to get you fixed.
Your pets will start fooling around sooner than you think.
Go on, get out of here!
Accidental litters lead to millions killed in shelters each year. Help prevent more. Fix at month 4.
From the high-definition digital production studios of Troy University, you're watching the award-winning TrojanVision Nightly News.
Joins us for a look at weather.
So, Jamarla, it was a lot cooler today. Not as much sun was out. A gloomier day outside. What can we expect going into our weekend?
Well, for the weekend, we will be expecting to see some warmer temperatures, but I'll get into more of that right now. But first, let's take a look at our campus snapshot. Taking a look across the main quad. Beautiful view right now as the sun has begun to set. Going into our current conditions, our skies right now are clear, temperature at 56 degrees, dew point 43 degrees, humidity at 63%, barometer reading 30.32 inches and steady with our winds coming from the northeast at about 4 miles per hour. Taking a look at today's stats. Today we were able to see a high of 58 degrees, a low of 43. There was no rain in our area today. Sun rose this morning at 6:24 a.m. and has set at 4:40 p.m. Taking a look at our temperatures from around the state, we can see that temperatures from around the state, Mobile sitting at 61 degrees, Huntsville at 53, Birmingham at 6 degrees, Montgomery 57. In our area in Troy, we're sitting at 56 degrees, Phoenix City 60, and Dothan at 58 degrees with clear skies all across Alabama right now. Taking a look at our current temperatures across the United States. As we look towards the north, towards the North Dakota and Minnesota area, they're experiencing those very low temperatures all the way down to the 14s. Down in those areas. Taking a look at our current temperatures in our area, we can see that we're still experiencing those low to mid 60 degree temperatures, 60 in Birmingham, going down to Mobile at 61 degrees. Taking a look at our departure from normal, we can see in our area we're experiencing about an 8 to 9 temperature decrease than what we've been seeing in the past few days. Taking a look at our current surface map, we can see that towards the west, they're experiencing high pressure systems as well as a stationary front, low pressure system sitting down here in the northern portion of Texas. But taking a look into our area, we can see that we're not experiencing any action in our area. Taking a look at our precipitation forecast for the next 48 hours. Again, taking a look towards the west, towards the California area, we can see that they are experiencing rain as well as even ice or snow. Taking a look in our area, we can see for the next 48 hours, we will not be experiencing any rain or any windy conditions in our area for the next 48 hours. Taking a look at Friday's forecast. Friday, we will not be experiencing any rain. But again, taking a look towards the west again, we can see that they will be experiencing some heavier rain in those areas as well as a chance of snow. Taking a look at Saturday's forecast. Again, our area will remain clear. And going into Sunday, our area will still remain clear. And Monday, no changes in our area, but as we take a look at the middle portion of the United States, they will be experiencing some very windy conditions, as well as the Michigan area. They will be experiencing a light chance of rain, as well as some heavier rains in the middle portion, the western portions of Michigan. Taking a look at tonight's forecast, tonight we'll be experiencing partly cloudy skies with light and variable winds coming from the east at about 4 miles per hour. Taking a look at tomorrow's forecast, tomorrow will be much more like today, with winds coming from the east southeast about 6 miles per hour with a high of 69 degrees. Taking a look at our 4-day forecast. Taking a look at Friday, we can see that Friday we'll be seeing a high of 69 degrees, and as we go into Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, Justin and Courtney, we will begin to see those warmer temperatures will come back into our area.
Thank you, Jamarla.
Thank you.
All right.